Hello, hello, hello. We talked about this on the live stream, but I hadn't looked at it properly. And any reason to pillory Roger Waters is always a good reason to make a video because clicks, and also I get to pillory Roger Waters. Why not? He's someone that I think we should all fight against. You've probably the news is probably broke because I think it's actually gone mainstream now. In a video chat interview with something called the Independent Ink, Roger Waters has a bit of a go. Again, it's a bit weird because I didn't know the context of it. There was a write up on, was it Far Out magazine, and I hadn't quite got the context of what this was, so I was kind of reacting to that, not the interview itself, because I was doing a live stream. So I've gone and watched this thing, and it's really quite peculiar. But then everything Roger Waters does these days is tinged with peculiar. I think there really is something wrong with him. Really something wrong with him. So yeah, this Independent Ink thing is... Again, they only have 680 subscribers, but I imagine this video is probably going to be their top video. It's had 11,000 views already, and it's like I said, the Daily Mail have covered it. You know, all the mainstream newspapers have covered this because it is really peculiar. This interview, they're talking about all manner of things. Mainly, it goes on about activism. Of course, it would. Of course. And Waters is going on about, like, kind of about pop culture is a distraction. You know, is it really? Pop culture is pop culture. It's always been there. I don't think it's necessarily used to distract people from politics. What Waters doesn't understand is, for a lot of people, politics, or his version of politics, is of no interest to them. And why would it be? You know, as I often joke, you know, if voting achieved anything, they wouldn't let us vote, would they? So yeah, he's kind of going on about this, and he's talking about, again, he goes on about Taylor Swift and the Kardashians, Kim Kardashian, I think it is, and then out of nowhere, he starts having a pop at Ozzy Osbourne. Again, this is completely, it's not suggested to him. So I thought maybe someone might have said, "Oh, what do you think? You know, Ozzy Osbourne's passed," but it's no, it doesn't come out like that. So yeah, he's imagining how pop culture can be used to distract people from important political issues, because I'm sure that's what they do. I'm sure they've used Taylor Swift to take our minds off of the Palestine situation. Sure, Rog, sure. He said, "How can we push this to one side? I know how we'll do it. We'll do it with Taylor Swift, or bubblegum, or Kim Kardashian's bum." Again, I think that's a reference to was it that magazine cover from God? Well, how long ago was that now? 10 years ago. And then he switches to Ozzy Osbourne. He goes, "Or Ozzy Osbourne, who just died, bless him, in his whatever state that was he was in his whole life, we'll never know. Although he was all over TV for hundreds of years with his idiocy and nonsense." And then he doesn't hold back. He goes, "The music? Oh, I have no idea. I couldn't give a fuck. I don't care about Black Sabbath. I never did. I have no interest in..." And then he goes, "Ah!" and sticks his tongue out and kind of, you know, does a mock, I guess, kind of rock and roll scream type of thing. And he goes, "Oh, biting off the heads of chickens," or whatever they do. "I couldn't care less." You know, so again, he's very well informed. He's very well informed there. And then he's asked further about Black Sabbath's music, and he said, I do not care. You know, Black Sabbath. You know, he has no interest in it. Now, again, I thought before maybe he'd been asked about Ozzy Osbourne and he was being a little bit distasteful, but no, the context is even more interesting there, because the interviewer didn't bring up Ozzy Osbourne. He brought Ozzy Osbourne to the table. in the same light as Taylor Swift and Kim Kardashian. I would never have put him in that category. I never imagined that Ozzy Osbourne and his family were a tool for the nefarious naysayers in power to corrupt the minds of the young. I never imagined it, but there's a logic here. I can explain it. I figured it out, right? I figured it out. Because how can I put it? A lot of Roger Waters fans, I'm going to upset. So, you might want to either put your nappy on, right, or leave the room. You've got a choice. But the problem with Roger Waters, he is a raging anti-Semite. You see, he doesn't like those Jews. He doesn't like those. Remember what he said on Piers Morgan? Go and look it up. He said all those Jews in Israel should go back to where they came from. Send them all back home. That's what he's saying. Again, he wrote a song about that on the wall, didn't he? Sometimes you wonder, what's real and what's fantasy and what's artistic expression. Hiding in plain sight, I think they call it. Don't they? So anyway, he doesn't like the Jews. Now again, these people who are controlling things, in his mindset, are probably Jews. Ozzy Osbourne, he's Jew by association because of Sharon Osbourne. She's a Jew, and by birth her children are Jewish, and so Jews control the world. The Osbournes were a tool for our Jewish overlords to distract us from what's really going on. I think that's the cognitive logic that he's working with here. So again, initially I thought, well, maybe he's been a bit distasteful, and he could have just said, Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne, not to my taste, and been respectful. But now I've seen it in context. He's a fucking idiot. I'm sorry, he's a fucking idiot. He truly is. The guy is a moron. But then, if people don't believe in what you believe in, I'm talking about the people of Roger Waters' ilk. If you don't believe and follow him, then you are obviously been corrupted or fallen for the propaganda of those who are really in control. That's how their minds work. Not that you don't give a fuck, because why should you? You don't have to. Some people don't give a fuck about any of this stuff, and I don't blame you. But he's one of these ideologues who wants to push his agenda, who wants to make everybody miserable, and here we are. In a world of Roger Waters, be David Gilmour. I think that's the expression now, isn't it? That's what you want to be more like. So yeah, I thought this was really peculiar. But then, because he has this Jew hatred running through him, it makes sense. Because I think again, Sharon Osbourne may have said something to him. Wait a minute, I better do my research. I'm going to do it live because I think she might have said something about him. Yeah, Sharon Osbourne. Roger Waters belongs in old folks' home. I think we can all agree with that. This was a year ago. She emphasised that Waters should just leave the Jews alone. Hey, Roger, leave those Jews alone. Hey, the lyrics write themselves. And even back in 2023, she was speaking out against Roger Waters. So again, I think what we saw was a little bit of payback. I think again it's lodged in his desiccated peanut of a brain, and so he's kind of paying back. I think there's a psychological thing there. Who can I get back at? The Osbournes. So yeah, he's done it at probably the best time, because everyone's going, come on, Ozzy Osbourne, man, because he's not here, he's not with us, he can't defend himself, and so it's up to Jack Osbourne to do that for him. And again, Jack, love you, man, love you. He puts it in a way I couldn't even come close to. Well, I try and come close to. He just says he's got the hashtag fuck Roger Waters. Why not? Who'd want to, eh? Who'd want to? Not even his missus. He says, hey Roger Waters, fuck you. How pathetic and out of touch you've become. The only way you seem to get attention these days is by vomiting out bullshit in the press. It wasn't even the press. It was a YouTube channel with 680 subscribers. Gee, even I've got more subscribers than that. My father always thought you were a cunt. Thanks for proving him right. Well, again, it's been said that, you know, Ozzy was a fan of Pink Floyd. I think he was a fan of lots of music. I think he was very much, you know, in the scene. I think he liked lots of people and liked to get on with lots of people. But yeah, Roger Waters is, well, he's a cunt. That should be the title of the video, but I think it probably would get slightly hidden if I did that. So we're going to just leave it to Jack Osbourne. Well played, Mr. Osbourne. Well played. The apple didn't fall far from the tree. But yeah, it's another peculiarity of Roger Waters. You just wonder why you'd do that, especially so shortly. This video went up 3 weeks ago, so it's not that long after Osbourne's demise. So in his funeral and everything. So it shows you this guy has no class. He has no class. He doesn't care about anyone. He only cares about Roger Waters and whatever delusions are swilling around inside that addled brain of his. He doesn't care about people. He has no humility. He has no humanity. You know, not really, because he's an ideologue. He sits there and he spouts a lot of Russian propaganda again. Remember, he got up to speak to on Mr. Putin's behalf at the UN. You think, how did we get here? How the hell did we get here? And now he's doing this. Now he's speaking to the Independent Inc. Don't give it a view. It's not worth it. It really isn't. Unless you want to just see how stupid it all is. Watch Beato's interview with Gilmore instead, which has got 416,000 views. That interview's only had 11,000 views in 3 weeks. 416,000 views in 16 hours. I think the stats, see, look, the stats are there. He says, so I don't know if you can get this on the screen. Can I get this all on the screen? Yes, so there you go. 11,000 views 3 weeks ago. But what do we have? Beato, 416,000 views 16 hours ago. I think we can safely say everybody loves David Gilmour more than Roger Waters. I think it's statistically proven, isn't it? Statistically proven. And yeah, it's just a shame that he has to do this. You know, look, just be an arsehole, Rog. Go and be an arsehole. But it's like you are just trolling everyone now. You know, like I'm clickbaiting here. It's like you've got nothing but clickbait. That's all you've got left, son. Really? And I want to do the Jasper Carrot joke. You know, he wasn't even the best bass player in Pink Floyd. That'd be David Gilmour, who played on most of the albums, didn't he? So yeah, I thought I'd have a go. What do you reckon? Have a go at Roger Waters? Because why not? It should be a national sport. There should be a day dedicated to it. You know, there should be a Bash Roger Waters Day. I think that should be a thing. And it's just, you know, really. Meanwhile, the kids out there are going, "What's an Ozzy Osbourne? Who's a Roger Waters?" Seriously, that's where we are. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully I've got you riled up enough to leave a pithy, disgusting, anti-Semitic comment in the box below, in the comment box, saying how free Palestine from Hamas. You'd be the first for the choppy if they win. You do know that. And we'll talk about something else. Hopefully another Roger Waters video, because gee, I could really do with the views. Anyway, thanks for watching. Just why? Why are we doing this? We're in the wrong timeline. Ta-ta.